Hey, what my YouTube family? How are you doing? I think I've got this scheduling thing figured out now. So if I make my scheduled videos on my desktop or on my laptop, I'm not able to access them with my phone. If I make my scheduled videos on my phone through the YouTube app, I can access them scheduled through the app, and all I got to do is just press go live, and it literally turns the one that's on there on. So waiting for it to kick on over here, but it should be on. So hopefully it didn't lose any of you all in that process, because before you had to wait for the live show actually to kick on. So now I have a feeling if I did this properly, it should be starting right up. It's getting the circle of death. Well, it's not the circle of death. That was what the old Xbox term was. And you get the red light circle. This is the snake chasing his tail. All right, so what I've got today is the King of Wakanda to go with the Hot Toys accessory throne. I mean, Hot Toys made this throne, which we paid, I don't even remember. It was a lot of money for, and no king actually fit on him. So a third-party company made a King of Wakanda, and I'm going to unbox him. I didn't place the order for it when it was being sold new, and it sold out, so I had to buy it third party. I bought it from Toys Wonderland, and I paid third party prices for it, but it's what I wanted, so I was very happy to pay for it. Things were not, I mean, gosh, I've got, I don't even know how many, 20 or so Hot Toys on pre-order, or, you know, figures on pre-order in the first place. And so I couldn't, at the time, for whatever reason, I couldn't afford a down payment or whatever it was, or I missed a 2-week window or 1-month window or whatever it was that you could have placed the order for this. I don't remember what it was that I missed it, but I have it now. This is how he packages this, or she, or them. Don't know what the story is. By the way, I put my new Hall of Armor up this last week. Now, little technical difficulties while I kick my box into my tripod. There you can see the new Hall of Armor, and I had to readjust where everybody sat up there. So I've got Hulkbuster stayed where he is. Hulkbuster Deluxe, or excuse me, Hulkbuster 2, which is probably the Mark 49, went on the left, or it could be the 48. I put the 5 up top, starting with the Iron Man Mark 2 that he would have taken from Tony. And then the War Machine Mark II, which we've never seen on screen. And then the Iron Patriot. And then the War Machine Mark II New Avenger. And then the War Machine Mark III. And then, of course, the Mark IV is over here. I am Black Widow. In front of Scarlet Witch. And War Machine Mark V is coming. So the Mark IV will go up there when the Mark V arrives. Noble, how's it going, man? So I was definitely right that it does start up right from here without having to start up another channel. Wow, that's really washed out. I don't know, it's probably not washed out. It's probably my laptop. That sucks. It's really old. It's not. It's only 5 years old. My desktop is really old. My desktop's 10 years old. Just keep updating it. This. What am I going to do with this? So, here we go. Let's talk about this. It says 1/6 Wakanda costume set. Coat pats. Coat pats. Hand chain, leather, sandals, body. Coat pats. It comes with pats. DJ Custom. This looks like it's going to open up like a shoebox. Now, this doesn't come with a head sculpt, if I remember correctly. And I believe I have now 2 Black Panther head sculpts. Yeah, guys, I'm trying to remember his name. Now, with plastic's not, I can see the package better. Coat pats, hand chain, leather sandals. T'Challa, and his real name is it's slipping me right now. It'll come to me. Anyhow, I have a head sculpt that I bought third-party manufacturer, which I've been using on my Black Panther from Civil War, and love. And then the Black Panther figure that came out from Hot Toys came with a head sculpt. Don't know which head sculpt I want to put on here. Probably the Hot Toys one, but it depends on which one will actually fit on here. Figure hands and the little bracelets. I forget what they call these. Remember they had the little balls that can peel off? This arm is on backwards. I have to bend it and it bent backwards. I'm going to have to spin it around. He has on underneath a black t-shirt, pants. So the custom piece, specifically, I imagine then in this case, for this character, would have been the coat or shirt not sure what you'd call it. It's got long tails, so I would call it a coat because it goes over a shirt. Maybe it was a shirt. Don't know. And the sandals. So here's the sandals. It's got a little articulated toe here, so the sandal will bend with the toe. Just a regular old body, you know, in that regards. I don't know if you can see that. And his purpose for me is to be able to sit in this throne. So he'll be doing. One of my complaints on the Black Panther figures was that the throne was too big for the body, and this one seems to fit it pretty well. Doesn't look necessarily out of whack. For the King of Wakanda. Now you can put anybody you want here, I would imagine. Killmonger comes out. If you want to put Killmonger on the throne, put Killmonger on here. If you want to place T'Chaka on the throne, put T'Chaka on the throne. Put one of the Black Panthers on the throne. Like I said, I didn't much care for the way the Black Panther fit on the throne. Neither of them really fit well. But this one fits. In my opinion, it fits. His feet are a lot closer to the ground than the Hot Toys figures were. Let me show you where his feet are. I'm going to take this off. You can see it a little bit there. That one's actually on the ground. So, I say ground, tabletop. And his knees are well on there. I mean, that's going to work. That will work as far as I'm concerned. Let's put this on a smaller tripod. Let's do this. There we go. Let me find that head. Should be in this box here. Jake, Wakanda forever. There he is in the Black Panther. I've got 4 of these, and it's already filled up. So I started cataloging them this way, or storing them this way, about 6 months or so ago. For instance, this is Mark 42. Nice little piece of paper on there. Says what it is. And like, this one just says Ant-Man. So it'll be from the Ant-Man movie. So there's Hot Toys in there, and then there's from, I don't know, Marvel Select or whatever else would be in there from that first movie. Pretty obvious which piece would belong on what figure. And this one is, for instance, Ant-Man Civil War. It says Ant-Man Civil War. I probably should put on here the MMS number of these as well. Keep track of them. And it has a big drawer in the bottom to store associated stuff that's too big for the other drawers. And I need to find a next size up box that has larger ones. For instance, like for the Mark 50 accessories and such, Hulk's accessories that are just too big to go in those. So, like the chicken feet, they don't fit in there. They'll just sit on the shelf. Aaron's Figure Reviews. How you doing, man? Welcome to the channel. The outfit looks so clean and awesome. Are you planning on using the 11 head sculpt or the newer Black Panther figure T'Challa sculpt? I'm going to see if the Hot Toys sculpt will fit on it. Because I got my Black Panther, which is the one that is lit up with the black light. And I didn't want to put this on it because I already have my Black Panther from Civil War with a third-party head sculpt, and I swear I don't remember who made this. I really don't. I bought it when it came out, however many years ago that was, that this head sculpt was made available. Love it. It looks a lot like him. Let me turn off the, let me turn this off. There we go. And let me turn this on. In the process of setting up my Hall of Armor, I broke my light bulbs in my little, I broke one of the light bulbs in my little desk lamps. So I replaced them with some LEDs that I had. And man, oh man, oh man. They are bright. Tell me, is that good light or is it too much light, guys? It seems like a lot of light to me, but it may be absolutely perfect. Maybe what we've needed all along. Yeah, I don't remember who made this. I don't remember whether I bought it from, I think I may have bought it from 1/6 Kit. I don't remember where it came from. But I love it, and it looks great. See if we can get him focus here. It really looks like him. I mean, a lot. What is his name? I can't, for the life of me right now, I cannot remember this actor's name. Forgive me. And I know what his name is, I just can't remember it at this point. This is the new Hot Toys sculpt that came with the Black Panther figure. And so I'm going to put this one on the King of Wakanda throne, and this one I'm going to leave here. Should work fine. Oh, there you go, Chadwick Boseman. Thank you very much, Aaron. Thank you. That was eating me. Thank you. I really love how some of these actors have really brought these characters to life. I mean, these are characters that we may or may not have been reading in our comic ages as we were reading comics growing up. And like, for instance, I never really read a Tony Stark Iron Man comic for the most part, unless he was doing something with Spider-Man and he was brought into the story. You know what I mean? I didn't collect the Iron Man comics. Spider-Man I did, and Venom, of course, I did. Spawn I did. I kind of got tired of Spawn after a while. But pardon me. Uh, so when Tony Stark came out as the Iron Man movie, of course I've seen it. I was going to go see it just like I've seen the Ang Lee Hulk when it first came out back in 2003 or whatever that was, and that was a big disappointment. But yeah, of course when Tony Stark came out, Iron Man 1, I went and seen it and absolutely fell in love with the character, fell in love with the movie, fell in love with the whole franchise. And who would have thought that Iron Man would have been the lead for this whole Marvel Cinematic Universe? In all actuality, as a lot of you probably would agree with me, Iron Man was a strong character, but he wasn't like the character. The X-Men, easily the character. Spider-Man, easily the character. Marvel Cinematic Universe would easily, I mean, the Marvel Comics company, I would say, would easily say Spider-Man or the X-Men had been probably their two biggest franchises from the beginning. And who would have thought that Iron Man would be it? And boy, oh boy, oh boy, Robert Downey Jr. and all the cast and all the actors have brought to life these characters, and they're in a whole another universe. You know, the Earth 199999 is the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is different than Earth 616, which I think is the Prime Line Earth from the comics. But we totally accept everything and everyone. And Chadwick Boseman as well brought the Black Panther totally to life. Skin here is a little bit darker than the hands, but the hands are so far away from the face that your brain won't even recognize that there's a difference. So let's see if this will go on here first off. It did go on. There you can see the huge neck gap. But the coat's going to ride up. He's going to be, we'll never see him from the back. We'll only be looking at him from the front. This is, pardon me, this is the head sculpt that would have reflected this character anyhow. This is the head sculpt from Black Panther. Black Panther. So this should be the head sculpt that we should be having on here. In all truthfulness. And if I wasn't going to put him on the throne, I would still have him like, greeting his sister. You can't really do the fists, the two hands they gave us. You have one left fist and one right trigger finger. I would imagine these are the same hands for just a generic body. Let's get this on him. We could actually, I suppose if we really wanted to, put this on anyone else, all honesty. Where's this all honestly coming from that I started saying today? In the world. What do they call these? I think it was 11, and the light's great. Really brings out the detail in the head sculpt. Chadwick Boseman is the name, thank you. Somebody make a platform stand that put cordless batteries in the figures. It's Sweet Siri. I can't remember who or the names, but I've seen a video. No problem for life batteries. I'm going to make a platform stand that puts cordless batteries in the figures. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Noble. All right, so this stretches. Now, the thing with these stretches, you really don't want to stretch. You really don't want to stretch these. They actually will break apart over time and just fall totally apart. So I'm going to put him on. I'm going to put this on the wrist without stretching it over the hand because I really don't want to stretch it. figures that I have received for the upcoming unboxings. I have Shuri, and I'm just doing Shuri next only because just staying with. You know what? I ought to just unbox Shuri today. I I've got her scheduled to be unboxed next week, um, and I only scheduled her because staying along the same theme. I'm chomping at the bit to get to my Scarlet Spiders, man. I am chomping at the bit, but I just want to do his sister so badly. I mean, I want to unbox Shuri so badly just because we're doing this Wakanda today. I figured I would just follow along with that next week as well. The Scarlet Spiders, man. Oh, and then I've got this came in, which is the poisons. I got two of these sets from 1/6 Kit I bought. They are from Street Fighter. Poison, the pink hair, blue shorts, white t-shirt. Got a Fison body on the way to go with that. I really, when I bought that, I was really looking for the outfit because I'm wanting to make a Mary Jane, a beautiful Mary Jane for Peter Parker. And I'm talking about comic book style Mary Jane. The thick red hair and the whole 9 yards. Sultry body. That Mary Jane. That's my Mary Jane. I will place these with my Black Panther, because really that's who he is. And it's just these hands. So I'm not going to make a whole nother drawer just for King of Wakanda. Sorry, Your Highness. I'm not giving you a whole drawer to yourself. You've already got drawers, dude. Got 2 drawers. I'm digging this. I mean, it takes what this literally gives us is from where Hot Toys provided a throne without a king, now we have a king for the throne. And why would they not make this? I mean, for real. You know, people talk about Hot Toys cash cow, money grabber, milking the franchise, and then they don't make something which is like a no-brainer. Or, well, no, that would have been stupid. I was going to say something really stupid, like just include it with the outfit. I doubt seriously this would even fit over this Black Panther body. I doubt it seriously. I really doubt it. But come on, how hard is it for them to crank this out for real? This huge company should have had no problem cranking something out like this. So I imagine Juiced will be done with the land speeder shortly. Originally, he'd said that October was going to be the ship date. I'm really looking forward to the land speeder. I mean, for real. So what do we have here? You know, I remember what's really cool about the Black Panther figure was you could put either the silver eyes or his eyes in there, which was neat. So what are some of the things we have here? Sword or spear? I wonder if I've already wrapped this around the hand. I wonder if I mean, there's really no point in him holding it. He didn't need this on the throne. But and the trigger hand really doesn't hold it. It's just way too big for it. It's not holding it at all. I wonder if I put it between. No. Yeah, no, there's no way this is. So if I remember correctly, this was like the ceremonial blade, wasn't it? Wasn't this what they fought with? If you wanted to challenge his right to the throne. Isn't this what they fought with? I don't remember. I suppose if I wanted to, I could put this in his hand. What do you think? Yay or nay? I'm going to say nay. I think some company is possibly releasing a spacer for the neck gap, but from the front, the head sculpt looks great. On the body, if you unbox Shuri, it goes along with the theme of Black Panther. Yeah, you know what? Exactly. They already have the license, so why not make exactly? They even had it on display at SDCC last year, if my memory is correct. And I don't remember whether they did or not of it sitting on the throne. I don't remember that either, to tell you the truth. You know what, guys? I'm just going to unbox Shuri. And so next week will be the black. Next week will be the Scarlet Spider. I'll do Shuri right now, and I've got what else do I have that's coming? Something else. What was it? There's something else I've paid for that hasn't shipped yet. So let's put Civil War Black Panther back on the Avengers shelf, and I love my Civil War Black Panther. I mean, I really do. The figure without the lights is a beautiful figure, and it's the exact same figure that T'Chaka is, and that goes even screen correct with what Ryan Meanderding told us, that literally when he made the king, he took the Black Panther suit and just turned it gold instead of silver, and then the Black Panther suit. If the lights are off, it's kind of a boring suit. It's just kind of just not much detail on it. Just a suit. But you turn on those lights, man. Holy smokes. What a beautiful piece. Shuri. Shuri, the beloved sister. The genius. She'd make a great Iron Man. You know what I mean? Now on my laptop, I just have the video spinning. My phone app is still recording, and I see comments on the phone popping up. This is the Hot Toys head sculpt from Black Panther. Sure is. On my Black Panther Civil War, the one I just put away, is a third party. And I'm sorry, I don't know who it made it. It was made a couple years back when the figure first came out. And I'm really terribly sorry. I do not remember who made it. And it looks great. I mean, it looks just like Chadwick Boseman, no doubt about it. So here is this, and we're going to set him aside and crack open Shuri. Surely we will do Shuri. And I was planning on doing Shuri tomorrow, but this really just went down so fast. I just have a hard time just ending the channel and saying, there we go, see you next week. Doesn't feel right. Civil War suit. I agree, man. Except it doesn't glow, you know? Yeah, I love the Civil War suit. I really do. Sorry this chair is so squeaky. So we had the roof done, and so roof junk slid through the ceiling onto the floor, and then I rolled around in it and drug it right through wood, so had to clean the wood up. Now the wood and the chair make really bad, terrible noises. I'm so terribly sorry. I'm doing well. I think I'm getting a cold or allergies. And I'll tell you what I did. So I'd been storing all the brown shipper boxes out in the shed outside, and I've been storing all the art boxes in the garage. And I've run out of room. I even started flattening the shipper boxes to try to make even more room, and I've just totally filled up those two areas. And so I decided to take all the shipper boxes out of the shed, and they're now in the garage. I can't even park my car in the garage. And I've started bringing down all the art boxes because I'll never be able to display the art boxes behind the figures. I would have to have a freaking warehouse to display every piece right in front of their art box. And so I'm putting the art boxes back into the shippers, and then I'm going to store them in the garage first, and then the shed second, I think. I'm going to try to avoid the shed, truthfully, because the shed's not air conditioned. The garage isn't air conditioned either. The garage doesn't get nearly as hot as that shed does. So that's the intention. So I bought this from Big Bad Toy Store. Big bad toy store. What's nice about them is they hardly ever take a down payment for the purchase of the product. You can place product on pre-orders instantly and not have to worry about paying for it right then and there. You just pay for it when they are ready to ship it. And $4 shipping if you don't mind waiting a few extra days. But they're already waiting because they get it after Sideshow's been shipping them out. Get a little receipt, by the way, in case any of you think I don't pay for my figures. There's what I paid for Shuri, right there. And there's the shipping. You see, $4. However, on these Scarlet Spiders, I paid like $17 a piece. A piece in shipping. $35 for 2 Scarlet Spiders shipped in the same state. Sideshow's down around LA area, and I'm up here around the Bay Area, Northern California. So, and like I was telling you last time, I think I paid $30 for my whole of armor to be shipped to me. I don't remember. I think it was $30 from Big Bad Toy Store. And that thing's heavy as a huge rock. Cupboards. Yeah. I ran out of cupboard space. That was the first thing to go. It is funny, it's all the Big Bad Toy Store boxes. They put this yellow sticker on there because they have a different number that they assign to it as well. By the way, in case you didn't know, MMS 501. Remember the big deal when 300 was a huge number? I would have thought they would have made a big deal out of 500. And they didn't. And this is 501. Shuri's a supporting character. I have a feeling there's not going to be a lot of collectors that will pick this up like a villain. But I'm 100% going for her. I thought she did a good job. I'm sorry, I have absolutely zero idea what her name is in real life. I'm sorry, I do not know. I do not know what the actress's name is who played Shuri. If you guys know, by all means, please shout it out. I'm not necessarily embarrassed to not know, because, again, she is just a supporting character in the show. They really didn't make her that integral. You know what I mean? It wasn't important. They could have replaced her with a computer voice, and that would have been fine in regards to the reality of it. So the fact that this actress snatched this role, brought her to life, made her a beloved character, God bless her. Thank you for doing that. Please forgive me for not knowing your name, though. I see these, like for instance, I watched Budget Start, Anthony Wong. Anthony, what's his last name? Anyhow, watch him destroy all of his boxes. Now, I've actually bought an empty box. I bought an empty box for my Doctor Strange. Because my Doctor Strange, if you guys remember, my first Doctor Strange, has this neat little design on the front. You can spin it and all sorts of stuff. The whole thing was broken straight up from Hot Toys. It didn't work. So I literally bought an extra Doctor Strange box just so I could have that. And I paid, I don't know, $30 or something for the box, plus shipping. And then I cut out, when you open it up, it has a little, the spinning thing. I cut that out because I planned to trying to figure out a way of making that an integral portion of his display. So to watch someone destroy these boxes is beyond me. And a couple of them, I don't have the brown shippers on because I bought from a collector who was selling their stuff, like the it's either the gunmetal or the Secret Project. I don't remember which one. Didn't come with the brown shipper, and so I would have happy to have gotten the brown shipper from that too. So the struggle is real in regards to storage on the boxes, especially if you're not displaying the art. And this is another really fine piece of art on this box. Now, who I would also really like to get would be the rest of the cast. Again, please forgive me for not even knowing even these characters' names, let alone the actors and actresses who portrayed them. But like his sergeant or whatever she was called that protected him, and Naku. I mean, I would really love to have a full-on Black Panther cast for these. Angela Bassett. I would love to have the Queen Mother. For fact, I would love to have the Queen Mother. And I doubt seriously that we'll get any of those ever. But I would really want to have, the leaders and his first sergeant, whatever she was, his warrior guard. And I would love to have them. For real. I would straight up love to have a full-on Black Panther cast. I really would. It was a great movie. It wasn't, as in my opinion, necessarily the greatest movie they ever made. It was worth seeing. I really enjoyed it. It brought Wakanda to life. And I just have a feeling we'll never see it. Here's the back of the box. Very traditional shoebox style. All the artwork is raised and shiny. So you can feel all this over the black smoothness. All the little triangles here. You feel all the triangles. Letitia White, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. There's names of the people responsible for creating this figure. LMGTFY. Let me Google that for you. LMGTFY. Thank you, Letitia White. Wakanda forever. And make this not glare as much as possible. Oh, yeah. I've never seen any of the... I knew that. is her name Denai Guerrera? Is that the actress's name? So I guess it's good to be doing Shuri today as well, because again, it's just really just a basic character. Now I separate these. I take all the accessories out, and I take these too, and they go in a folder. When I first started collecting, I kept like accessories and these in the boxes, thinking it'd be easy to find them if I ever wanted to change them out. And that proved to be a hassle, actually. So I started keeping these out, all the accessories and these, because sometimes I would have to access these in order to be able to figure out where the batteries in the Iron Man figures. So I keep all these out now, so the boxes are totally empty. But, like I said in the beginning, I was not separating them. So, for instance, I started telling you, I started separating, putting the boxes back together, and literally, oh my God, I've spent probably now 5 hours just starting this, and I've only put together like 10 boxes. Now, 4 of those hours was, getting the cardboard boxes out of the shed and getting them into the garage to be able to do them. But as I got to my Bruce Banner, which was one of my first figures that I'd bought within the first year of collecting, he was one of the ones that I kept the pieces in. And I was sitting here thinking about this. I was getting ready to put his box into the shipper, and I was like, I better check, because he may have his accessories in there. Still enough, he sure enough did. He still had all of his accessories inside the box. So I was glad I checked that. So I'll be having to open some of those up for that. A couple little pieces of plastic inside there. Bruce, I mean, it's funny. The Bruce Banner figure, we have one. 10 years of movies, 22 different movies. Hulk and Bruce Banner were in half of them, I would think. Maybe not quite half. And we have one Bruce Banner. And the characters evolved over the last 10 years. But they never made another Bruce Banner. Now, I will admit, Bruce sat on the shelf a long time before people bought him. They wanted the Hulk. They didn't much care for Bruce. And I think that's probably a big problem for... what are these? Mark Ruffalo? He plays Bruce, right? His character is lost in the Hulk. So I like that they actually made Professor Hulk, more or less, in the movie. So he could be himself. You know what I mean? I've never met him in real life, never met any of the guys in real life. But I gotta say that he seems to be a character. I mean, a very interesting fella. Specifically because he can't keep his mouth shut in regards to revealing secrets on the movies. He just literally just blurts out whatever's going on. Secrets be damned. He's telling you what's happening. So here's the instructions. Right there, if you ever need them. There you have it. Evidently, she's got batteries for her fists. And it looks like all you take off is just the hand, instead of like the whole arm. It gave us a seamless elbow, it appears. Sweet. So we're going to keep this out, just in case we need it again. And Sure enough, seamless elbows. Give her some breath of life. I wonder if, yeah, she's definitely in like her fighting garb, right? So she has like the chin guard. It's not molded. It's not molded into it. I mean, it could possibly come off. Should you guys decide you wanted to try to customize that? I don't believe I'll be taking that off, but it could be removed. So here's her haircut. Paint detail. Head and neck look like they're properly proportioned. Her neck, which sometimes is a concern. I'll say this with this little bit of foam that they put here. You definitely want to get this figure sooner rather than later, compared to one that's sitting around in a box for a long time, because I certainly could see that this foam biodegrading onto the figure. Because I tell you, I can see this not being very resistant to heat in time. Her shoulders fit better than Thanos' shoulders in this last installment of Thanos that we've received, where the suit and the shoulders are wrong. This doesn't look too bad. This doesn't look like it's wrong. You know what I mean? I've seen guys that have removed Thanos's armor, or his shirt, if you will, and carved down his shoulders to make the suit fit better. This, I think, looks good. This is cloth. The rest of her is that vinyl. There's your back again. So looks good. There's no toe pivot. Bottom of her shoes. It's funny, when I was putting my War Machines up last night, I was actually putting them in position. I couldn't remember which one of the Mark IIs was the actual came first. Which one was the chicken? Which one was the egg? Which one came before the Iron Patriot? Which one came after the Iron Patriot? And so I looked on the bottom, and one said 2013, and one said 2015. So that answered that question. So here's her spear. Can't tell, is that blue? The center is blue, gray, and silver-ish. And the pole is dark gray. Plastic. It's all plastic. Four batteries. I thought this looked like, yeah, they show 3 batteries going in there, which came with 4 batteries. Batteries. 3 batteries, AG0LR521, are included. Activate the light up function by toggling the on-off switch. Wear the gauntlets according to the indicated sides. That's 4 batteries. So somewhere along the line, an executive decision was made to change that. Now, here's the problem. LEDs operate on 4.5 volts. So we're using 2 of them, that's 3 volts. Now, they'll still work, but they're not going to be very bright. Little wrist pegs. And replacement buttons for our wrap right there. Figure base. So you guys that stuck with me today are seeing Shuri. You guys that wanted to come in next week to watch Shuri are going to be disappointed because you'll find out that it was this week. Letitia White. I like these. I wish I got more of these. They're perfect for specifically the female characters, which Shuri is very female. Use them for Pepper, and I think Black Widow. But yeah, I prefer these on some characters or the crotch grabbers, the crotch holders. It simply says Shuri. Bad thing is in order to get her in and out, you have to disassemble it from the figure stand holder. But most of the time, it doesn't look as invasive. You know, here we can see it quite well. And actually, you know, a crotch grabber probably would be much better because you can't see the crotch grabber. So what I probably will do on her is use a crotch grabber instead of this. And I've got lots of them over the years of collecting these, obviously. Needless to say, the King of Wakanda did not come with the throne figure stand because he's designed to be with his throne. What did I do with him? I'm going to check it just to make sure there wasn't one underneath it. Where'd I put the box? I'm losing my mind. I'm guaranteed there's nothing in here underneath this foam, and I'm going to look just in case. Nothing. Nothing's there. I totally expect to come to the figure stand because his figure stand is his throne. That's what we bought him for. I decided I better check it. This will be her spear holding hand. It's a trigger hand, simple enough. And it didn't make specifically a spear holding hand. So it doesn't hold it well. It will hold it, obviously. It's not coming out of there, but it doesn't hold it. You understand what I'm saying? Doesn't hold it. It just kind of rests in there. And let me get the crotch back. to use a crotch grabber. I think it'll work underneath her fine, because she's got her wraparound concealing it. Nothing but wire crotch grabbers, etc. Oh, problem with this is her skirt. Now it comes back there. Yeah, no. So the crotch grabber hides nicely. Okay. Then we have this poofed skirt thing going on. You know, the dilemma of the cape. So we're back to the waist holder, because I don't necessarily want the cape to be sprawled out. Cape, skirt, wrap around, cloth. So we will be using the waist holder. I really like the detail of this, of her outfit. Specifically, I was just looking at the belt buckle, or whatever you would call that. Looks pretty cool. You guys are probably like, you don't want to put a crotch grabber on there, her skirt's going to be flying in the back. Wish Hot Toys would make an Okoye figure. Yes, that would be a day one pre-order from me. For me too. I want to have her standing next to Black Panther for a fact. She needs to be with him. You know what I'm saying? I think they need an update of Banner. I agree, 100%. 10 years is too long. Can't beat the new smell when you open them. Oh, I'm not kidding you, man. When I was doing my Hall of Armor last week, man, oh man, oh man, that smell was way strong. Oh, here we go. Here's a much better spear holder. So we have two holding hands. You have the one trigger hand. And the holding hands hold the spear much better. The hand's actually on it. So two holding hands. One trigger hand, two holding hands. Her relaxed hands here, and then two straight up fists. Then we have these, which I think we only use these with the God, I don't know what these little gauntlets are called. They're little kitty cats, little panthers. She fires her energy blasts at. I think that's the only time those are used. So we have two of those, and I wonder if there's a little fist inside of it. So that'd be easy not to tell which one's right and which one's wrong, or right and left. I don't know if you can see it in there. Some light on that. There's a fist inside of it. So obviously the thumb is going to go on the inside of the body. Unless she's doing it this way. I don't think she is. That's unnatural. That's natural. Oh. And her little necklace. So this one's larger than necklace, my goodness, bracelet. This is larger than this one. Almost twice as large. Who came with that also? Was it Black Panther up there or T'Chaka? It's T'Chaka. I've got him all the way up there at the top. I ought to get him down here. All right, you guys are talking me into it. Thanks, guys, for talking me into that. All the way up here. Is my T'Chaka and my T'Challa light ups. T'Challa. So I'm going to get T'Chaka down here. And might as well get Black Panther, Black Panther. T'Challa. Down here as well. Might as well. While we're at it. The whole family here that we have so far. And no, like I was saying, and I think you guys agree, the Black Panther suit is really just kind of a boring suit, unless he's all lit up. He's lit up. Man, oh man. Now you got something. I don't know what these beads are called. So Young Lee did the head sculpt on Shuri, by the way, and J.C. Hong and E. Lee painted the head and the body. So I guarantee you, So Young Lee and E. Lee were the ones that did Shuri's head. You go Cock and Tit and Monster Jr. photography directors. Cock and Tit. Love it. Black Panther doesn't want to stand up on his own. King has no problem standing up. T'Challa, however, does not want to. Interesting. I like my T'Chaka. I love my king. It's great. All right, let's get the instructions on these batteries. See if we can get everybody in here. Some kind of arrangement of some sorts while we go through this. Get my screwdriver out. The batteries and Shuri's vibranium gauntlets. Okay, so these are the armbands. Go up around her biceps. Funny that they didn't just put them on there in the first place. Ah, and they explain what these little pieces are here for. Ruben, how you doing, man? Welcome, welcome. I looked for the info. I couldn't find more, but trust me, you'll be happy to have a battery in the figures. Yes, I assume that is how you pronounce his name. I will show you. Good old cock and tit. Director of Photography, Cock and Tit, and Monster Jr. Name choices when naming your children. There you go. Go for it. All right, so these little sleeves that were in the instruction bag are to protect the seamless joints when putting the armbands on, according to the instructions. So it says, pop off her little hand. Now, I found, by the way, in my years, if the wrist wants to stay in the hand, to leave the wrist peg in the hand. And if you want to swap it out, just swap it out here. There's no sense in ever struggling with these guys because you're just going to end up wearing it out. If one fits better than the other, I mean, stay with it. If you're interchanging them, if that makes any sense. That's just my opinion. It's like how this one, the hand came out and left the wrist peg. So I'm not going to fight it. It says to put this on over the elbow joint. And the silver goes down. It seems a little backwards doing it like that. We'll try it their way. No. I'm going to put this in here first. And then try to get it over to the arm. Yeah. goes up to her bicep there. So I found it easier to this inside this first. Give a little wiggle to open that up. Slide it all up the arm here. So I guess they found this is the safest way getting these on her past her seamless elbow. And I've speculated on this in the past that I wonder if when they make these, they give them to some of the guys, say, hey, take these home and let your kids play with them, and then bring them back in a week. And we'll see everywhere where it gets damaged, paint faded, broken, chipped, or pulled on, and then we'll make sure to put that as a precaution on the precautions page, which is normally like the last panel in here. Caution, whatever you do, don't do this, 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 or this. You're going to break it, damage it, chip the paint, or whatever. So I have a feeling that was the case there. Neck ring is non-detachable from the costume. Do not try to take it off, otherwise the figure may get damaged. The indicated hair piece is fragile. Be careful when handling. There's the other caution. So again, take these, give them to your kids, let them play with them for a week and see what happens. However she survives is how she survives. I have a feeling, I wonder if that's what they do. It's funny, I don't understand why this place was there in the first place, truthfully. Maybe, I don't know, maybe people would want to pose her without them. I don't know. I really don't know. Good call, Siri. If you are struggling with pegs, you can always dip them briefly in hot water. It should be more accessible. True. Hey, Siri, how's it going? Buzz, welcome. Seamless arms and legs make such a huge difference. In appearance, they certainly do. Like, well, gosh, anytime. And so these are beautiful as such, and we really can't see the shoulders, so it's fine. They don't have to be seamless. But yeah, this makes a big deal. And as a lot of you pointed out, you don't necessarily want to pose them, you know, angled, if at all possible. We're going to want to, if we're going to put her vibranium gauntlets on, you know, we can put a little bend in there, and you know, we want to try and get them forward. But we really don't want to put an exaggerated, bend on there. We don't want to have one of these things because you're going to get that crack in there. So if you're going to pose her like that, don't pose her long like that. You know, a lot of times we like to change our characters up, and we get tired of looking at them in one way, and we'll switch them around or whatever. Sometimes, man, my figures get put into a position, they stay there forever. They never get repositioned. So you keep that in, you want to keep that in mind. So for posing her with her kitty cat, since she won't get the beads here. And, you know, it's interesting then. I wonder if, you know, for size comparison, then if we're not going to use her beads, we're going to put the gauntlets on her. Maybe we can put the beads on the King of Wakanda over here. I've done that before, for instance, on my Deadpool and my Cable. So when Cable came out, made by I don't remember whether it's Toys Era or Bullethead. I think it was Toys Era made the Cable. It was Toys era. Um, in my opinion, the Toys era cables time controller looked better than the Hot Toys one. So on my Deadpool, I put the Toys era um, time controller on him, and I put the Hot Toys one on my Cable, because the Cable, he's just kind of just hanging out with it. You really can't see it because he's got it. He's holding his rifle in his hand, and so the Chrono time controller is underneath. It's upside down. But I've posed Deadpool actually controlling the device. You could see it, and I thought the third-party manufacturer's one looked better than the Hot Toys one. So in this instance, if I'm going to pose her with her gauntlets, I'm just going to put this on my King of Wakanda over here. Now these aren't stretchy. These are solid, a solid piece, and it looks smaller than King's over here, which also is not stretchy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. Like 12 or so. And this one has like 9. It may not fit on his. I'm pretty sure it will. Probably will do that because their size comparison is off, way off between these two. I'm probably going to have her in her gauntlets. Do I have a question on 1/6 collectibles? Do I have a question on 1/6 collectibles? Who, me? I think I would rather go for the gauntlets and not the spear. I'm with you. I watched Spider-Man Far From Home last night. Oh, yeah. For the first time, and for some reason I was not impressed. I was gauging if I wanted to PO any of that Hot Toys figures for this movie. So here's my opinion on Far From Home. First half or first 30 minutes of the movie were really slow, really and then it got some action, then it went really again. And then it got some action, and then there was like a complete and total mind effing, literally, as I was just totally caught off guard as to how anything was going on. And I was really impressed with that portion of the movie, I must say. I was really, really, really impressed with the battle between Spider-Man, the Night Monkey, and Mysterio. That battle, that whole thing was, they ended it. That went really well. So I really appreciate that portion of the movie. It tells a story. It's one of those. A lot of times they have, when that third movie comes around, or something to that effect, or whenever a character's been around that long, it becomes difficult for them to come up with a good story. And there was some struggling with Far From Home, but I'm definitely into Mysterio. Definitely got the figure on that. Of course, I'm buying all the Spider-Mans. Of course, I've got the Night Monkey on order, and the drone is cool, which you can buy with the homemade suit. But I really don't need 2 homemade suits, so that's a struggle right there. But I definitely want the drone. But that's my opinion on Far From Home. Maybe I missed it, but did not see the homemade suit on a drone. I don't remember it either. I was kind of shocked. He was like doing like different, showing him different things. I have to watch it. Was the homemade suit at all in any of that scene when he was doing all that? Was the homemade suit in there at all? You just recently watched the movie, is why I'm asking. Are you guys into Jurassic Park? Chronicle Collectibles put out some 1/6 goodness. Check Chronicle Collectibles. I would like to get a 1/6 scale Tyrannosaurus Rex, to tell you the truth. Will I get the new Joker? I have not seen the movie yet, and I don't have any of the DC figures, and it's not for matter of not enjoying the DC figures. It's just because of the fact that pushing over 200 figures as it is now, and it's just in the Marvel line, let alone some Star Wars figures and Vampirella and Lady Death because they're cool, and the 300 because he's cool. But I would enjoy to have some Batman and some Jokers. Joker really, that's Batman's arch nemesis, and so many great actors have portrayed the Joker over all the years. And I don't know how Joaquin Phoenix is going to do. I understand it's in the theaters now, so you can go see the movie if you wish. And I probably will go see it. Um, Heath Ledger really did a great job with the Joker. Jack Nicholson, of course, did a wonderful job with the Joker. Caesar, I don't remember his last name, from the 1960s, did a great Joker. Um, but I'm really frightened over the DC way of putting movies together currently. They seem to be hit or miss. So I don't know what they're going to be doing with the Joker. I really don't. He's a homicidal maniac. He really is. And sometimes, in my opinion, the DC universe, they get too far gone on the homicidal part. And it takes the enjoyment, in my opinion, out of the movie. So I'm kind of scared of that. You know what I mean? So let's see. It appears that this top portion comes off right here. It appears that that's the piece that comes off. And sure enough, it was very easy. I just very mindlessly just placed my finger here right behind the head and just lifted right up. Have. And it tells you right there the LR21 1.5 volts times 2. So they're not going to be very bright. They'll work on 3 volts, but they're designed to work on 4.5. LEDs are. I'll need a sharper screwdriver than this. $450. Have they made a Tyrannosaurus Rex? That's my question. I want a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Oh my goodness. I may not have a screwdriver. I need to buy a new set. I've literally wore out my points on my jeweler set here. I need to buy a new set. Here we go. There we go. Oh, that's very easy. They just place in there instead of snapping in. So the instruction manual showed them, like the traditional way, stacked up. These are just set in there. So when they're in the battery, the numbers and letters on top of the battery is what you should be able to see. That'll be for them. Was that homemade suit in Far From Home? Is the question. Was on the drone or not? Was that suit actually in Far From Home when Mysterio was messing with his mind? Would have been the scene. Was it in Far From Home? The Night Monkey. I've got Ned Leeds on order too, by the way. I think the third-party manufacturer calls it the Fat Guy or something like that. PC be damned. He didn't give us a full-on head sculpt. This third-party company that's made this, and I kind of just spun that. And they just used a regular fat body, plump body, fluffy body, that I think they're also reusing for the Thor aftermarket, the plump Thor. But I think they shortened his legs. This is difficult doing, actually. Doesn't really close in here. I was holding it, trying to keep it in that spot. The little tab is so small, it doesn't want to stay. I was trying to hold it with my finger. This could prove to be a problem. At least I'm not dropping batteries all over the place. They give you this, it has this real small little, I mean, dinky, itty bitty little tab right down there to try to hold that in place. And it's just not doing it. Because it's also the spring tensioner for the battery. It's not happening. I mean, it's on there, okay? But I don't have any confidence in it staying there. I mean, you can see already it's lifted up a little bit. It's not really staying. One little blue light. Doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too bad at all, actually. It's lit up brighter on the screen than it really is. It's not that bright. But I guess blue, which is all the way on the other side of the color spectrum, from red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, doesn't necessarily need the whole 4.5 volts. I mean, I can look in this and it's not real bright. Putting it here, man, looks like it's a super bright light, but it's not. But you can see it's lit up everything. The blue really shines well. At only 3 volts. Quite impressed, actually. It's shining up a lot brighter than it is in person. By the way, here you can see the fist, and they're a lot easier. And then they say that this just slides right on. And it did. Just puts the fist peg into the fist. It sure did just slide right on. Nothing to it. And then we would put the this piece back on with the lines toward the back. There's lines on the top of it. The lines go up towards the elbow. It's like a simple, just straight push. Yeah, simple as that. So I believe if you were to pose her, you know, to try to avoid having to bend the elbows, you could do one of these things, or maybe turn her sideways a bit. Suppose with this braid, I wouldn't want to turn her that way. That just kind of looks off because it sticks out from her body. I'd probably, if anything, turn her head a little more that way. So if anything, I would probably turn her hands in this manner. And since it's on a wrist peg, of course you can spin this. There's no like movement side to side for the most part. It's just, you know, direction you're going to spin in this direction. So either she's loaded and ready, or she's up and firing, or straight on, however you wish. But they do look really nice. The blue turned out really good. It's just subtle looking at it here. It's subtle. It looks super bright on the camera. It's not. It's blue. But I mean, I can see it. It's you see that? It's lining up my hand. But with the lights on, I can barely see it. It's even on at all. So barely even tell that it's on. It is cool that they lit them up, I have to say. So now the question becomes, with or without the kitty gauntlets? What do you guys think? Kitty gauntlets or no? Thank you, Tess. Tess Jess. I guess I could have a Rex, but that would go to somewhere near $800 minimum, I guess. That seems like a lot of money for a figure. I mean, the Hulkbuster was that plus. It was very briefly. Okay, so CBS doesn't think that the homemade suit was in there. Buzz says it was in there very briefly. The gauntlets look amazing for Shuri. I agree. Rick, how's it going, man? Collecting the 1/2 scale Terminator put together kit over the next 2 to 3 years. You know about that? No, but holy smokes, that must have been a project. Holy cow. I bet that looks great. My Bucky and Stan are shipping Tuesday. I'm very excited. Wow. Um, Bucky's coming out, huh? Not heard anything about Bucky yet. Shuri looks good, but Black Panther was not my favorite movie. No thanks to that. I can save up for other figures. Rick. I thought Bucky is delayed due to the political issues at the moment in Hong Kong. I seen a picture of a bunch of them on pallets, the boxes of Bucky. So I am inclined to believe that he's shipping. But like you said, who knows what's really going on right now? My goodness, Hong Kong is going through quite a struggle. I don't even want to think about that right now. Holy cow. You know, Hong Kong was under the rule of England, or the United Kingdom. I'm not sure exactly where where it exactly sat. And I think it was 1999 or 2000, right around that time frame. Um, England decided to give Hong Kong back to China. But in kind of a weird way, they said over a 50-year period, Hong Kong would be kind of autonomous in its own currency and its own, for the most part, government. But from my understanding, after 50 years, it was supposed to be 100% part of mainland China. And I guess they've got some things going on there now in regards to um, asylum or something in regards to people needing to be in mainland China or in Hong Kong. And I really don't know. I really don't know all the struggle over there right now, but I know the struggle is real, and it's unfortunate what's happening over there right now. And I don't have any idea what the solution is. I really don't. I feel for the guys over there. Quarter scale Iron Man are all plastic, so all the quarter scales are all plastic, every one of them, no die cast. Some of the quarter scale ones, I've never seen one in real life, but the photos, they're a lot more detailed than the 1/6 scale. And I got into the 1/6 scale because of the detail, a heck of a lot better detail and quality than the 1/12 or 1/48 scale figure, for instance. You know, they're museum quality. They really are. And the quarter scale are even more so. The reason I never collected any of the quarter scale figures, first off, price. Second off, storage. But, you know, I suppose if I were to buy a quarter scale anything, it would be like a, or 1/3 scale or a half scale. It would be like a showpiece, more or less. Because they're not, I guarantee you, they're not making everything in those scales. You know what I mean? You'll get a handful of figures, and that'll be it. And that's fine, you know? Get you a nice little showpiece figure to that. But heck, I don't have room for all of my 1/6 scale figures. If I had, you know, like I said, if I had a huge room just for my figures, that'd be a whole nother thing. Hell, I'd love to get a 6 foot tall Ant-Man, and more or less he would be my Giant Man figure. You know what I mean? Out of here. Thanks for comments, mate. See you, Test Jess. Thank you. I was on the wait list for Scarlet Spider until this week when I was notified by Sideshow Collectibles I could purchase. So excited. There you go. Anybody know if the quarter scale Iron Man are die cast plastic? Because someone said they're plastic. Yes, but Sideshow actually got there fast somehow. Rick, yeah, okay, good for you, buddy. That's crap for the price of them. How much are they? The quarter scales. Thanks, Buzz. I don't like really ordering through there, but it's an easy sometimes. Yeah, I prefer Big Bad Toy Store in a heartbeat if I'm ordering figures, and then I'll go to the others. For instance, there are pieces that are only available through Sideshow as exclusives, and so then of course you have to get them through Sideshow. Um, and then there are pieces that I get from that they aren't necessarily licensed, like cable. So you have to buy them from people like 1/6 Kit or Toys Wonderland or 1/6 Outfitter, companies that don't necessarily have a license on online so that they can get them. Big Bad Toy Store, 99% of the time, will not get a piece that's not licensed. And I don't know if there's any type of reason behind that. I don't know whether or not they are under some type of contractual agreement where they can't sell unlicensed products or why that is. But I've noticed for the most part, 99.9% of the time, Big Bad Toy Store won't sell an unlicensed product. Quarter scale line is awesome. I only have two quarter scale figures: Iron Man Mark 46, that's a nice one, and Heath Ledger Joker. Oh wow! Might grab quarter scale Batman. The quarter scale Iron Man figures look great, but prices and storage, as Siri said. Siri, where did you get your Mark 6 gantry? King Arts 1/9? Yes, from back then. And what did you pay for it? I have no idea what I paid for it, because I bought it from Big Bad Toy Store, and I got the 1/9 scale because as I was examining that from the movie, the landing base that he lands on is approximately, this big or whatever. And then as he steps off of the landing base and takes those few steps down and goes onto the platform, the circle around that shifts up, and then as it gets around him, it expands. All right. So while I was looking at that 1/9 scale, several things came to my mind. First off, this portion of it appears to be the proper size. The inside of that circle appears to be the proper size for what he lands on. And it appears to be what the shape of it should be right before it expands into the larger. So they made a 1/6 scale gantry. Somebody did. I don't remember who it was. And I'd never seen it in person, but it was just my opinion that it actually would be too large, because then all of a sudden that landing base, instead of it being, this big, it would be like this big. And I have a hard time believing that his landing base was that big. So just my opinion on that. And I don't remember what I paid for it, to tell you the truth. Um, I'm pretty sure I did an unboxing video of it. When I have it, I should be able to see it in the files of the folders there. But it's big enough as it is. It's a big piece of display. That is that 1/9 King Arts. But I believe it truly is a 1/6 scale, for the purpose of displaying my Mark 6 Iron Man in it. I'd like to get a quarter scale Ant-Man and a quarter scale Hulk, because they're multi-scaled figures. If they look good, they would be great. And I mean, like, an honest to goodness, really good job quarter scale Ant-Man and Hulk. That'd be great. Yeah, of course. I would gladly follow you on Instagram. I don't go to Instagram much, I must admit. But heck yeah, I'll follow you. Anybody follow you? So I want to get this wrist peg out, because this wrist peg wanted to stay in the hand. I'm just going to leave it there. Maybe I'll get this wrist peg out. There we go. I think I'll pose these. I'm thinking I'm going to pose the kitty cats down. Just her with them down. You know what I'm saying? Not pointing at you, just them ready to go. Ready for action. Okoye would look great standing next to her as they're getting ready to encounter Killmonger. Where is our Killmonger, by the way, right? I'm having a hard time getting this in here. It's the right way, isn't it? Gosh dang it. Yeah, it's the right way. There we go. I sure hope they fix that head sculpt. I much care for the choice that they have decided to give us for Killmonger. There we go. There's so many other better designs that he of hair designs that he wore in the movie than the one that they chose. I mean, it's a cool one, but I just don't remember it being. I don't remember that being like the main thing that I've seen him in. You know what I'm saying? It just is. It wasn't the head sculpt that I thought, oh yeah, I remember that in the movie. I'm sure it was in the movie. I just don't remember seeing that head sculpt in the movie. Um, I was hoping they would go with one that had a little more airtime, or what sticks in my mind more. So, and maybe that's why Killmonger's not out yet. She's really a, she's really a, she's not very tall, is she? Was there that much of a height difference in the movie? Is she really this is this really her height? Her height? I don't remember, guys. Could that possibly be how tall she really is? $567 to $650. Siri, you need a do a collection room tour. Yeah, okay. I hope your wife is better, Siri. She is getting better and stronger. So it's sad or funny. I'm not sure what the correct way of saying this would be. But whenever I go see her, it's always good to get an update on what her physical therapy was. She gets 1 hour of physical therapy a day and 1 hour of occupational therapy. And it's funny because I was like, well, she does, wife doesn't work. So what would be the occupational therapy? But really, physical therapy is your strength training and stuff like that. Occupational therapy is the fine motor skills, feeding yourself, believe it or not, combing your hair, bathing yourself. That's occupational therapy stuff. I was thinking, well, you got to teach her to dig a ditch. Here's a shovel, start digging. That's what came to my mind with occupational therapy. But it really is the brain controlling what you're doing. And I said, well, make sure that you work on her being able to type again, and because she was on the computer a lot. But like I said, I don't know whether it's funny or sad. Spending time with my wife after this whole ordeal was, if any of you all have children, and I mean you were there when the baby was born and the first 2 years of life of your child, all the little milestones that they go through when they discover their tongue, for instance, and when they lift their head and look around, or when they are crawling or walking or standing. These are all huge milestones for your kid, and you're just absolutely just full of joy and praise. And that's what it is with my wife. All of these things had to start over again from scratch. I remember she was, and I hope she doesn't I hope she doesn't mind me sharing some of these stories. But I remember like a few days after she had come back, and she asked for a pencil and a paper. She wanted to write something down, and so I went and got a pencil and a paper, and she grabbed the paper, and she, in her, I guess from her mind, she was writing something, but dude, there was nothing there. It was nothing. It looked like a child, a baby, had just drawn something, and she looked at it. She's like very matter of factly, right there. Do you not see what I just wrote? And I'm like, baby, I'm sorry, there ain't nothing there. That's scribbles for real, is what it was. But in her mind, she was putting something to paper, and she was dead positive. She's like, right there, you don't see that? And I'm like, that, I hate to tell you, that's nothing. And now she can sign her name and whatnot. But it's like I said, I don't know whether it's sad or funny or what it is, but it is what it is. and she's getting better and stronger every day. And what a mess. So thank you guys, all of you, for your thoughts and prayers for her and your support. Thank you all. Killmonger, I want Ant-Man. I am torn between the 1/6 scale Iron Man Mark 85 battle damage or the clean version. I feel both, but thinking about canceling one. Siri, what would you do to help? I'm getting both. I guess it's all about your display. How do you envision them? What part of the whole story is your biggest story of that? You know, is the clean, beautiful looking Mark 85 what comes to your mind when you think of in game? Or is it that final, finger snap that he performs? Is that what really comes to your mind? What do you want to tell in your story of your figures as you display them for others to see or for you to even enjoy? My collection is pretty private. You guys get to see it whenever you want. But I don't have many people come over to the house at all. And so I don't really get an opportunity to show the collection off firsthand to anybody in that regards. So I'm the one that really gets to enjoy. I'm the one that gets to come in here and spend time with my figures and just reflect on them and look at a scene and relive something from the movie with me joy and satisfaction. I want two Mark 50s, for instance, because there's the multiple scenes in that. So the 85 and the 85 battle damage, I got both because I want to display both. I sure do. That's a tough one. Quarter Iron Man scale more than that here in UK, 750, 800 pounds. That's about the same as as like I said, 567 to 650 because I think a pound is 1.5 to a dollar. If I remember correctly. No, wait, the other way around, isn't it? Pounds are less than dollars, right? So it's like 1 pound is like $1.50. I forget how. Quarter mark, I would be nice to look at. Mark 50. I PO'd the battle damage Mark 85 since it is the more iconic one to me, and with the sacrifice that Tony gives, and the Infinity Saga. If you got deep pockets, go for both. I don't have deep pockets. Infinity Saga box set is $550. I'm going to buy closer to release, maybe. Yeah, that's insane. I only want the bonus disc. I have all the movies. They sell all the movies for $550? So like all 22 or 23 movies or whatever? Hey Siri, what's going on, Buzz? Good to hear your wife is getting better. I know what you're talking about, as a close one of mine had a stroke a few years ago and had to go through the same learning process again. Yeah. Get both the 85 and battle damage. Clean one to go with your setup and Tony on his knees alone. 100%. You got to have... How do I even say this? You got to have Tony dying. You got to have him snapping his finger. It tells the full-on story. You know what I mean? It just tells the whole story. I don't know how else to say that. It just sounds morbid and heartless to say you got to have Tony dying, but you got to have Tony dying. I'm sorry, and that's not funny, especially because what I've been going through the last 6 weeks. Life and death is no laughing matter. Still love Scarlet Witch with her passion. Very passionate character. When she's so pissed at Thanos and she's all charged up, walks up to him and she's like, "You have killed everybody that I've ever loved." And he just so very matter-of-factly looks at her and says, "I don't even know who you are." Oh, that's priceless. And that just even fuels her even more as she proceeds to destroy him. Literally she is taking all of her vengeance out on him. Holy smokes. She is not pleased. "You have killed everyone that I've loved. I don't even know who you are." God, that's priceless. That is simply priceless. Goes to show who the Mad Titan really is. And he didn't. I mean, he was not being mean. He was speaking the truth. Because this was, if you remember, Thanos before he had done all that. So here we have it. The King of Wakanda, the King of Wakanda, the King of Wakanda, the King of Wakanda, T'Challa from Black Panther, and Shuri from Black Panther. And that pretty much sums up the Black Panther movie. Then, of course, I've already showed you Black Panther for Civil War, which I really love that suit with the third party head sculpt. And I don't remember who made that. Tony is the hero, even in death. Even dead, I'm the hero. I'm thinking of posing the Mark 85 clean version with the rescue suit and then the Mark 85 battle damage alone in sacrifice mode. Agreed, both it is. Ruben, I'm with you. I think that's a great setup. Having Pepper and Tony back to back, if you will, in their fight there. That would probably be a really good scene. Mark 85 and rescue. I like that. I think that's probably going to be the way to go. They deserve that. And for fact, yeah, Tony in sacrifice mode. For fact. Yep. I am inevitable. I am Iron Man. Goes without saying. That's the pose. That sums up the entire 22 or 23 movies or whatever the MCU Infinity Saga really is. Because I guess Far From Home really ends it. Tony's Infinity Endgame ends it, but Far From Home really is the closure on it, I guess I would say. I think Feige even said that. That was the case. That Far From Home really ends the saga. Was anyone impressed with the Hot Toys releases in New York City Comic Con this year? The Mandalorian, maybe? Default, it's got to be. I seen some pictures, and obviously the Mandalorian and the IG-11. I thought it was an IG-88. What's the difference between the IG-11 and IG-88? Or is my mind just gone with the IG-88? Was there never an IG-88? Was it always IG-11? Or did they make them the IG-11 for the Mandalorian movie that's coming out? And it was an IG-88 originally. But I'm assuming that's the other bounty hunter, because wasn't there like a whole slew of other bounty hunters that Darth Vader was, or somebody had hired, Jabba the Hutt, or somebody had hired to get Han Solo? What was that whole story? Is that what this is? Because Boba Fett obviously was Jango Fett's kid, and Jango Fett was who the Stormtrooper clones were made from, right? And Boba Fett was not a clone or something. The whole story, I'm a little gray on that. But I'd always been like a huge Boba Fett fan. I think everyone was, and it was what a mistake George Lucas had said he made in killing Boba Fett off in Return of the Jedi. He said he didn't realize the impact that Boba Fett had on us, and they made the animated version. Hot Toys sold an animated version of the Boba Fett because he was in that Christmas special that came out back in 1977 that nobody's seen. I've seen it, and um, but there's several versions of the Fets. So I guess the Mandalorian is now supposed to tell his story. So we'll see. I'm really torn if I should Pio Mysterio the seam on the fishbowl man, but there are rumors that they give it the linen. Yes. Okay. So yeah. You're absolutely right, Buzz. JC Hong has for the most part said that that's what's going down. There's going to be the head sculpt. I was looking at some photographs that people had of the New York Comic Con, convention, and it looks like the seam is gone now. I may be wrong, but the photograph I was looking at, I couldn't see the seam anymore. So maybe they resolved that, hopefully, because that was stupid. That was absolutely stupid. The Mandalorian's after Return of the Jedi. So it's like how he came back to life, I guess you're saying, in regards to the Sarlacc. Was it a Sarlacc? The jaws of that big um, sandworm or whatever it was that ate him. Yeah, I've really been torn. As I've discussed on occasions, the amount of space required for displaying these figures is immense. And I would love to have Star Wars figures. I would love to have Predator figures. I would love to have, of course, DC figures, Superman and Batman. Can't go wrong there. Wonder Woman. But space is such a concern, and money. I mean, just keeping track of the MCU universe, figures coming out every month, 300, 400 bucks a pop. I mean, that's car payment stuff. You know what I mean? And but I one of the things that I batted around or struggled with was collecting the bounty hunters, because the bounty hunters are just so cool. I don't even remember the names of them all. You've got one that literally looks like a C3PO with a bigger head, and you've got one that looks like a yellow lizard wearing some type of a X-wing fighter outfit. I don't remember all their names. You got one with like a turban wrapped around his head, and I've always thought, man, it should be cool to have the bounty hunters. It's just a good looking group of guys. If you could like, if you could say that, good looking, good looking. They don't look good looking at all. They look like a bunch of ruffians, a bunch of nary do wells. But this really would be the story of the bounty hunter. So I'm assuming it'd be a good story if Disney does it right. Doesn't do like they've done of late. Come on, lightsabers cut through everything. You don't get hit by a lightsaber and laugh it off. What the hell? Rick, see you, man. I will tell my wife that you guys have asked about her and that you all are hoping that she gets better soon. She really was touched that I received a card from Eric. Thank you very much. Great setup of the Black Panther collection. Thank you, Ruben. It's not Boba Fett's story. It's not Boba Fett's story. Who's the Mandalorian? Jango Fett? Is that who it is? Is it Jango Fett's story? Whose story is it? Is it neither? Is it just another character? What's going on, CBS Sci-Fi? Let us know. Tell us, please. Let us in on the secret. Got two Eagles coming this week from Space 19. Whoa! 12-inch diecast, 5 in the set, only 1,000 worldwide. Oh, I remember watching that back in the day. I loved that. That was so cool. That was back when that was back when the promise was we were going to be living on the moon. That was what the big promise was. Hey Siri, another character. He never takes off the helmet, so I'm okay with it. Interesting. New story altogether. Wow. So is that where Jango Fett comes from? Jango Fett? Jango Fett's the dad, right? But Boba Fett was a kid. So they're Mandalorians. Is that like their race or planet or whatever that they're from? Is that why they're called that? Are they like all just bounty hunters? That'd be stupid. A whole planet of bounty hunters. The entire race are bounty hunters. That don't make any sense. It's like they're. I, I guess. I guess I got to check it out. I guess I have to look at it, see what it is. As Jon Favreau, and I don't know how to say his name. For the life of me, I should know how to say his name by now. As Jon Favreau is in charge for Amanda. Really? Cool. He did Iron Man. And watching some of the behind the scenes or as the actors tell the story of the making of that movie, the script was really loosely handled. They didn't have a lot of stuff written in stone yet as to what they were planning on doing. And they kind of made changes on the fly or whatever felt good. And I think, though, however, uh, through Kevin Feige's direction, they kept the Marvel Cinematic Universe together. And, it's like, Tony told us the end game earlier. When he goes, up there, that's the end game. We knew it was the end game, although we didn't. It's so nice seeing all these things revealed to us that were told us, right? I mean, literally straight to our face. We were told this, and then sure enough, it came to fruition later. So I'm assuming then Jon Favreau hopefully will have that same thought process in doing this, and hopefully he'll go back to the old Star Wars beliefs or abilities instead of this out with the old, in with the new. That seems to be the new Star Wars movies. And I mean, literally, they're just destroying everything that it ever was. I don't get it. Stupid. Yeah, the Mandalorian is a race. Okay, he is, and he said they will reference a lot of the older movies and stuff, including Easter eggs, etc. Cool. So it takes place then, if I'm understanding you correctly, after Return of the Jedi and before, because there's like what, 3 years easily in between Return of the Jedi and what was it called? The Force Awakens? Was that number seven? I don't even remember anymore. Is there 30 years between that? One of the movies I really enjoyed was Rogue One. Oh my God. What an amazing movie. It's a crying shame that all those characters were one-offs. It's a crying shame that it ended the way that it did, in regards to those characters, because what a great story. I really enjoyed Rogue One, and I really liked how they ended it in regards to tying it totally in to the next movie. I mean, yeah, if you've not seen Rogue One, out of all the Star Wars movies, I swear, that's one of my favorites. It really is. Really is one of my favorite movies. Rogue One is. Oh, good. Favreau is a big Star Wars fan, just like Feige. Good. Does Shuri have any neon tech effects on her face? Um, I'm not going to be able to get that light. I put it all the way up there and then ran the cable to it. It's not coming off of that top shelf way up there. I had to use the grabbies to get it. I don't believe she does. The little white paint on there would probably glow with under a neon light or a black light. You know what I mean? It would probably glow, but um, I'm sorry, I don't have easy access to those lights up there, so I don't know. I'm going to say not on purpose. She doesn't. I'm going to say not on purpose. She doesn't. She might. I don't know specifically, and I'm sorry. I'm not going to be able to test it. I'm not going to get those lights down. Sorry. That's the truth of it. Will you guys get Disney Plus when it debuts? What is that? A channel? What is Disney Plus? The new stream? Forrest Whitaker character from that movie is in the new Star Wars game. Yeah, that was another character that just, a lot of times they have these unbelievable characters that just are underdeveloped and they don't go anywhere or you don't know anything about. Television series Firefly, for instance. Love that series. And it was what, 13 episodes or something like that. And it ended like very abruptly. And I don't know what the whole story was on why that ended that way. If you've not seen Firefly, the series, watch it. If you are any type of a science fiction fan, I can't believe for one second how you wouldn't like Firefly. And they made a movie trying to tie up all the loose ends about 10 years after the series was off. And it just created more questions after it's all said and done. And stupidly, they called the movie Serenity instead of Firefly. The series was called Firefly. The name of the ship was called Serenity. It was a Firefly class cargo ship. So it was essentially the same name because Firefly was the class of ship, Serenity was the name of the ship. The movie was called Serenity, but there were people that just didn't know, believe it or not, that the Serenity movie had anything to do with the Firefighter movie if they didn't know to go see it. If they weren't in the know, Serenity came and went, and they didn't even know that it was the closure to Firefly. If they weren't in the know when it was happening, if they didn't see the trailers or weren't told, hey, the Firefly movie's coming out called Serenity, they wouldn't know. I mean, it'd be like making a Star Wars movie and they're not calling it Star Wars, but calling it Cowboys. Here we go, there's a new Star Wars movie, it's called Cowboys. You mean Star Wars Cowboys? No, Cowboys. What the hell? Why would you call it Cowboys? Well, because that's what it is. It's about a bunch of cowboys. Well, why isn't Star Wars in the name? Well, we just want to call it Cowboys. That's stupid. Star Wars Cowboys, yeah. But just to like totally change up the name of something and expect everyone to know that it's there. But anyhow, there's a character in there. I think he was called I don't remember what his character's what they called him, but he was the preacher, and he had such a backstory that we never really got an answer to who or what he was. But he had like this abilities, or he knew things that you just didn't have any idea on. So the whole series went. The series ended. The movie came and went, and still we're just as questioning on what this guy's, who he was and where he came from and why he had access and knowledge of things and why he was there, and it just left a whole lot of questions. But I hate when they do that. And Forrest Whitaker's character is the same thing in Rogue One. It's like, huh, and I hate that. I really hate that. There should be closure on these things. Yeah, quantum mechanics made some great stuff. Could you imagine having a 1/6 scale Firefly or Serenity? Disney Plus is the new stream service with all the MCU television series like Vision and Scarlet Witch, Loki, Hawkeye, Falcon, and Winter Soldier and Mandalorian. So all those are going to be on that? What? They probably changed the name. It's getting more people to come and see it because if I'm not mistaken, the show did not pull in a lot of numbers. Is more of a cult classic, kind of the Scarface didn't do. If I remember correctly, and I might be wrong, there was like this big writer strike that happened when Firefly was out. And like I said, maybe it was the numbers. I don't know if it was pulled because of what reason it was actually pulled for. But it really was a really good show. Man, what a... there's just so many episodes that just come to my mind that are just amazing. Truthfully, it really is really great thing. Good numbers at the theaters. I would hate to get Marvel overload with Disney Plus, but could see me getting it to keep up with the different storylines. I've not even kept up with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., let alone some of the other Marvel movies that have been out there with the Defenders and what was the one, the guys from the moon? What was that called? I've not kept up with any of those. For real, I am so far behind the times, not even funny. Yeah, I mean, each series gets about 6 episodes, like 6-hour movies. Interesting. So that's the plan with Disney Plus, huh? So, I guess we're probably wrapping this up. Been here for a little over 2 hours. They say for each show they spend about $25 million? Holy cow. That's big money. That's a lot of money. That's big money. None of that is technically canon to the Marvel MCU except for Agent Carter. Kevin Feige has come out and said, I have nothing to do with that, but all the shows on Disney Plus is 100% canon to MCU. The TV series will interweave with upcoming movies. Yeah, I've noticed, like, for instance, in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Nick Fury shows up, and Phil Coulson continues on, and they talk about him from Avengers. But they've not brought, from my understanding, anybody from any of the television series into the movies. So the movies have gone backwards into the television series, so they've made references to the events in New York from Avengers and stuff like that, from my understanding, but they've not gone the other direction. So I believe then that the television series are the same universe as the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They are still MC Earth 199999, but they just don't put them on the big screen. They have Brown, one person from the TV shows into the movie. Who was that? And that was Jarvis from Agent Carter. Oh, from an Endgame when Tony went back in time. Is that what you're talking about? The Jarvis there, the actual person Jarvis that drove Howard Stark around? Really? So that was the guy that was Agent Carter? That's cool. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are not directly in the same timeline and don't refer to any of the movies. Sure, they do. They sure do. Because like the very beginning, Phil Coulson was in Tahiti, and they made reference to the Battle of New York. So it is there, for fact. Now they may have evolved differently from there, but in the very first season, because I did watch the first season, that was the case. Phil Coulson didn't, die. He was just in Tahiti. I never got an explanation on that. I need to watch more of it to see if they explain that, because I don't understand how all that worked out. But that was the thing. They tell him he was in Tahiti. They didn't tell him that he died. So I'm about to wrap this up, guys. So next week will be Scarlet Spider. I'm jumping at the bit at that, and I've got some other pieces coming. Don't know if I have my list here. Pre-order list on this computer. Don't you understand is a move away from connecting to the movies. Looking at your Black Panther 2, Defo CW is the best one. Yeah, I definitely, Civil War is the better one. It sure is. To be honest with you, when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. started to move away from connecting to the movies all the time, it got 10 times better and 10 times more comic book and became a great show on its own. And I believe that. I totally believe that. The first season compared to all the rest of the seasons was just bad. I mean, that makes sense. I didn't watch it past the first season. I would love to, and I would probably get into that. Yeah, see you next week. Say hi to the wife. I will, Buzz, and I hope she will be even better soon. Me too. She wants to come home, obviously, and she can't come home until she's well enough to be able to get up and about and around. And so she told me that yesterday she walked 3 times using the parallel bars to get about, and it's amazing how quickly your body loses its strength and or memory on how to do things. So she's having to rebuild her strength and her ability to move around and walk and even just position herself in bed. These are all struggles for her, huge struggles. And so she's working really hard at that, and she wants to come home. But she knows she can't come home because I myself would not be able to 100% do all the things that she needs in regards to being able to stand, being able to walk, being able to reposition herself in bed. I literally would need help to get her about like that. And she knows that. So her goal is to be able to stand, walk, and get up in and out of bed on her own before she can come home. And she wants to come home. You want to get to your house. You want to be with your spouse. And you want to be around your junk. You want to be around your Hot Toys. or whatever it is that she enjoys. You know what I mean? So she's working really hard to do that, definitely. And of course, she's not in a private room, so she's always got a roommate, and roommates are cool and all that, but you really don't have any say so over whose roommate is. Oh boy, oh boy. Then you're stuck with whatever it is, whether it's good or bad. You have no say so over that. You make it the best as you can. Have a good day or night, whatever it is there. It is 9:30 in the morning for me. So I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to be able to do these shows at 7 o'clock in the morning to try to get all you guys, because I figure I'm all the way on the West Coast and most of y'all had an opportunity to already start your day. And this gives you all the way around to Asia, where it'd be the evening. So there we go. So I'll do a time check, see where you are. So I am on West Coast. It is 9:30. 5:30 in the UK. Wow. Really? That late? Holy smokes. Well, I'm glad to have every one of you. I really am. And it made my wife's day to know that you guys are concerned about me and her. It's nice. People have lost that. We've lost the real concern. We read Facebook, we post a little like or a thumbs up or a heart. That don't mean anything. You're not visiting that person anymore. There's no human contact. You're not coming over to their house having cake and coffee. You're not company. You're not actually going out of your way to go see them. And that's what we're missing. We do have the ability now, obviously, talking to somebody in the United Kingdom right now, live, face to face, more or less, and which is amazing. But nothing beats actually going up, knocking on the door, coming in, sitting down, having cake and coffee, and talking, which is the way we used to do things, and we don't do that anymore. And you get that human connection. You get that. We have to be able to still be human. You know what I'm saying? Try to do that. Try to reach out to somebody in person. Spend time with people that you are able to in real life. Do that. 12:30 p.m. in New York. Worldwide. I am worldwide. We have one of our followers who are family members that we have that watch us his YouTube name is NKSG, and he's in Singapore. And so he's normally here with us Saturdays whenever we do this. He's in Singapore. That's like what, 15 hours ahead? So right now it'd be like midnight pushing. So we see them as well. Tuning in next week. Beautiful, Ruben. Thank you. Yes, definitely Scarlet Spider. Heck yeah. Costa Rica. 10:30 a.m. Woo. I'm glad to have all of you. It's really nice to have the big family here. Um, and I appreciate all the time that you guys give me. And just chatting with you. I look forward to this. It's so funny. I love my wife to death. She loves me to death. Uh, you know, People have their hobbies, and sometimes there can be a contention. And there were times when my wife was like, kind of hated that I was doing this as a hobby, but now she totally, not because of this, but within the last year or so, she really started getting behind it. She's never bought me figures, so it's not like she's gone out of her way to drop a few $100 on figures. She's not behind it that much, but you know, she appreciates that I do this. I'm not into drugs or going out and getting drunk or partying or cheating on her or any of that craziness. So this is where my smoke and the dogs that I take care of. So Hot Toys better make the Taskmaster from the Black Widow movie. I have not seen any of the trailers. The only reason why I'm thinking they may not is because obviously he's a villain, right? And they don't like to make the villain. And And we need the Vulture for a fact. Michael Keaton is the Vulture. Holy smokes. A lot of people don't understand why we do this. I know, right? I don't know why I do it. Yeah. I really have no idea why I'm collecting these figures. I really don't. I love them. I enjoy looking at them. And they bring back a nostalgia from the movie, seeing them. But why? Why do I do this? I have no idea. I don't know why. It gives me joy. It's like having my Bumblebee Camaro. You know, you could drive a Camaro and enjoy a Camaro. And but man, driving a Bumblebee Camaro, boy. Everyone that sees it can relate. You know, if they know anything totally, what it just feels good to drive Bumblebee. It makes any sense whatsoever. Does the Vulture? Oh yes, thank you very much. Gosh dang it! I knew that there was something I was going to buy, and I bought that because he asked me what I thought. I'm like, hell yeah, it's a 100% buy for me. I just don't have the money right now because I totally spent all my money in October. I need to get that 100% get that. Yeah, a lot of times it's so funny because I will tell somebody, they say, "What are you doing Saturday morning?" I'm like, "Well, I'm doing my YouTube channel." "Oh, yeah, YouTube channel, yeah, yeah. What do you do?" "Oh, I talk about my toys." I'm like, "Oh yeah, what kind of toys you got?" "I collect Hot Wheels," they'll say, or whatever. And I said, "Oh yeah, mine are 1/6 scale Hot Toys." "So you have 1/6 scale Hot Toys? What does that even mean?" I'm like, "Oh, you know, they're action figures." "Oh yeah, yeah. Little Star Wars guys that I had back in the 70s. Is that what you collect? You collect all those little Star Wars guys?" I'm like, "No, these are 1/6 scale." "What do you even mean?" You know, like, "Well, do you remember the old G.I. Joe?" "Oh yeah, they look dorky." You know, like Barbies. "Oh, so you collect Barbies?" "No, it's like Barbie size." "So you're a Barbie doll collector?" "No, I'm not a Barbie doll collector. It's from the movies. I get figures from the movies." "Oh, so you got like Marilyn Monroe and stuff like that?" "No, no, not like that." But yeah, people don't get it, man. They don't. I don't know how best to describe it. So I mean, anytime I try, it ends up just making me look like more and more of a dork and a geek. So I'm gonna get out of here, guys. I will see you all next week, and thank you for tuning in. I love every one of y'all. I will tell my wife that you asked about her, and if you talk to anybody, let them know that Shuri's not going on for next week. She was done today, and we'll definitely do Scarlet Spider next week, and hopefully Juice will get my land speeder to me soon. Love you guys. Love every one of you. Bye. Happy collecting. Peace. See you next video.